Stop me if you've heard this one before, but Louisville City FC looks invincible with just one loss over the last 12 games. Intimidating to most, but not FC Tulsa. Jason Johnson returns to Lynn Family Stadium to face his former club, and it's his new club responsible for the lone blemish on the record of Cam Lancaster's Lou City since June 7th. Retribution for the boys in purple, or another defiant evening for the gold and white. This Central Division clash is moments away. Two of the most exciting matches of the USL season have been played between these two teams, Louisville City FC and FC Tulsa. A clash in the Central Division tonight at Lynn Family Stadium. Very excited to be on hand for it. With Manchester United great Gary Bailey, I'm Joel Malvin. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Let's take a look at those Central Division standings. Things are tight in the middle. That's where FC Tulsa is, but Louisville at the top starting to pull away.
They certainly are looking great, are Lou City and Birmingham Legion behind them. And look at Atlanta United too, another win, and they've jumped above Tulsa, FC Tulsa, OKC Energy level on the same number of points. Memphis game in hand, only 2 points behind. It is super tight there, battling for that third and fourth spot in the playoffs.
And Louisville has been powered to the top by their recent run of form. Just one loss since early June.
Yeah, they've got so many good players. Brian Ownby here coming back on his left foot. I mean, left foot, right foot, Corbin Bone, assists, crosses. They've got Kyle Gregg to score. They've got Lancaster in there. They've got so much going forward, and that is why they are top of their division.
Commonwealth Credit Union player to watch is Brian Ownby. Commonwealth Credit Union has been bettering lives in the communities they serve for 70 years. To learn more, visit WeSeeYouDifferently.com. He's the team leader with 8 assists.
Yeah, 3 goals as well. I mean, that's a clever player, one who is looking to get other players involved. He can score goals, he can set them up. He's part of the brains behind the team, and he's got so many good players around him, and he makes them look better.
When you're Danny Cruz and your team is rolling like this, no need to really change much. Just one change from last week's lineup, brought to you by Hometown Pizza.
Yeah, now McCabe comes in for Corbin Bone. He gets a rest this weekend. Look at that up front. Gonzalez, who's been scoring a ton of goals there. And Lancaster, Ownby, those 3 up front. In the midfield, Del Piccolo, the captain for the match today, Gibson and McCabe.
If there's one complaint to have about Louisville's form against Tulsa, they haven't been able to contain Rodrigo da Costa. Then again, not many teams have been able to do so.
Yeah, a very good player. 8 goals and 4 assists. Again, not just a goal scorer, but a clever player who brings others into play. And with Marlon there and Joaquin Rivas and now Jason Johnson, what an attack they have going forward.
Johnson sits atop that formation. Just joined recently, 6 appearances last year for Louisville.
Yeah, no changes to this lineup, and why would you with that front 4 going forward? But it's in defense, they have to be careful. Second worst defense in their division. If they can keep that defense tight with those front 4, they are going to be some side.
And it's tough with that defense going up against the Louisville attack that is second in the league with 37 goals scored. There's been goals galore when they've met in the past. 3-2 Louisville the first time, 3-2 Tulsa the second time. We'll see if the goals follow as the series shifts over to Lynn Family Stadium. Kickoff is next.
Get $1,000 customer cash on any stylish new 21 Corolla. Get 2.49 financing plus $750 TFS finance cash on Camry, or lease Camry for $229 a month. Toyota. Let's go places.
After being cooped up all spring, it's time to get outside and enjoy the summer of now. With amazing rates, Adventure Loans from Commonwealth Credit Union lets you hit the road, or no road at all, with UTVs, ATVs, and motorcycles, and our recreational loans for boats, motorhomes, and campers. This year, make the most of every day and stay cool for the summer with Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive because we were created for officers. But as we've evolved with the military, we've grown to serve all who've honorably served, no matter their rank or when they were in. A Marine just out of basic, or a petty officer from 73, and even his kids and their kids. USAA is made for all who've honorably served and their families. Are we still exclusive? Absolutely. And that's exactly why you should join.
I do enjoy working the mornings and then seeing the photos of the people that send you, especially the sunrises.
That's another thing that helps you get up in the morning. You light up the town with that sunrise, makes you ready for the day.
You get to see them in person. Don't we have some beautiful sunrises?
You might be a little jealous of me because I've seen many sunrises doing segments outside.
We have some pictures that look like postcards.
We do.
Sometimes I just look at that and think, wow, I live here. It makes you proud of your city and how pretty it is.
Makes me happy and makes me feel fortunate that we do live in the city.
Welcome back to Lynn Family Stadium. Tonight's match is brought to you by Kroger, proud partner of Louisville City FC. It's first place Louisville against currently, based on the scores elsewhere in USL Championship, fifth place FC Tulsa. With Gary Bailey, I'm Joe Malva. These teams are just about set to get things going.
Thank you.
FC Tulsa coming off of a win over Birmingham Legion last week. Dramatic finish at home, a 3-1 victory. That was their first win since they beat Louisville in July. They had 4 losses in a row in between there.
Yeah, and that is why they're slipping down the table, and they're a very good side. They shouldn't have allowed that to happen, but it can happen in a season. It's a long, hard season. I expect them to bounce back, but as you say, currently, they've dropped out of the top 4 into 5th. That's why this match, for both sides, but in particular for FC Tulsa, is absolutely vital.
A win earlier today from Atlanta, Oklahoma City up in their match, and Tulsa is 5th at the moment. Louisville City FC, their scoreboard watching and standings watching pertains more to the rest of the league, as Danny Cruz's squad, the interim head coach, wants to do something they haven't done, and that is finish #1 in the league and make sure all roads go through Lynn Family Stadium in the postseason. Malik Badawi, the man in charge of this one. And here we go. Third match of the season between Louisville and Tulsa. 10 goals in the first 2. Both finished 3-2, 1 win aside. Louisville in their traditional purple, and Tulsa in the black. 50-50 back pass back to Lewis. And he just has to get it out of harm's way. Jorge Gonzalez pressuring.
A little bit of indecision momentarily there, but Sean Lewis eventually decisive, gets his boot to it and clears the danger. But these are two teams that, as you say, they've given us 5 goals in each of the matches. That was at home for Tulsa. This one at Lynn Family Stadium, where Lou City are almost unbeatable. A much bigger task for FC Tulsa.
Lou City unbeaten in the last 6 matches overall with 5 wins. That's part of a larger run of 9 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss since June 7th. And the dominance has been particularly extra at home, especially since Lynn Family Stadium has opened to 100% capacity. Outscoring teams 19-6 on this field with 6 wins and a draw since it opened up to 100% capacity. This portion of tonight's game is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
We mentioned the stadium and the crowd, but they have an average, now that it's open again, of just short of 10,000, which is the highest average in the USL. So a fantastic stadium vibe, and I'm sure even FC Tulsa playing here will enjoy the fact that fans are back, the vibe is back. Yes, it's a tough place to go to, but this is a sort of game that professionals love to play in.
It's easy to see why Danny Cruz wants to make sure this team finishes above everybody to make sure all roads go through Lynn Family Stadium in the postseason.
Yeah, he certainly would, but of his 17 games so far, 11 have been at home, and of the next 8, 7 are going to be away. So he's going to take advantage of the home games because there's some tough away matches coming up for Lou City.
Down to the end line, in the middle, the shot taken, blocked. Shouts for handball, not given. Early pressure from Lou City. McCabe in the area.
Little half chance, wasn't it? I thought it was Del Piccolo might have got a shot in there as well. Let's have a look at this. Ownby again. He's so clever on that right-hand side. Gets dangerous balls in there. And yeah, it's Del Piccolo who has an effort, which for a moment they scream for a handball. Not given. But that's the sort of pressure Lou City puts you under. Balls in the box. Attempts on goal. This one just going wide.
Weekend. If there's one thing that Danny Cruz still believes this team could work on, though, it's putting together a full 90 without for a moment lapsing in focus. There was a brief time in that game last week that SKC was able to tie it up in the 68th minute. That seemed to turn things on for Louisville. They scored 2 goals in rapid succession after that. But in a 90-minute game, things could come down to 1 minute, and you can't switch off for even that 1 minute.
Yeah, 100% correct. It was probably the only shot that SKC2 had on target. Musha Galusa getting away on a counter-attack, and Danny Cruz really upset that that one moment got them level at 1-1. Yes, they went on to win it, but he did talk to us about the fact that in the playoffs last season, Tampa Bay got them nice and early from a similar lack of concentration, and they never recovered from it and got knocked out of the playoffs.
Through here, the shot is just wide. Oh, grabbed in the end by Siegfried. Looked like it was going wide. Tonight's keys to the game are powered by Kentucky Lottery, who reminds you that lottery proceeds fund college scholarships and grant programs, including every dollar of the popular Keys Scholarship Program.
Well, firstly, for Lou City, as you just mentioned, defensive transition concentration. So when you are defending, when you're having to get back, concentrate, don't make it easy for the opposition. For Tulsa, defend as a team, because their weakness is in defense. Going forward, what a side. So exciting, but to concede the second highest number of goals in your entire division for a team this good, I'm sure they can do better, and if they do, then they're going to be a very hard team to beat.
Mike Alencian has said as much in getting the chance to talk to him throughout the year. He realizes that if they could put things together on the back end, this team could be very special with the likes of all the players you mentioned up top, Rivas, DaCosta, now Jason Johnson in the mix. The problem is that's been a very big if. They haven't put it together on the backside just quite yet.
Yeah, and that becomes even more important when you get to playoffs, because in playoffs, sometimes you just have to scrape a win 1-0. And coaches, they don't want to fall behind and have to be chasing games because they have a poor defense.
Gonzalez looking for Gomez. Walks a tightrope on the end line. And it's blocked out. Ojidama defending.
Love to hear the sound of those fans, the drums, and we saw them. There they are on cue, the drums. We saw 1 or 2 of them in with those megaphones, and oh, what a great vibe, and great to see them back again.
And great footwork on the end line from Gomez. Doesn't amount to anything in the end. The teenager shows just what he could do.
Yeah, and this is a special player. For those who haven't seen much of him, he has already been sold on to Real Sociedad in Spain, but at 17 years of age, what a look at that for skill. What a talent he is. And he's got a couple of goals to his name already, 6 assists, as you can see. For a 17-year-old, he could be a future star. Both the USA and Mexico, Joe, are chasing his sort of signature, or would you say his pledge. And if I was a USA, I'd chuck him in the team right now. Go on, play 2 or 3 games. You're belonging to us.
They included him in the initial roster for the Gold Cup. Did not make the final cut. Ownby searching for it. Back for Corrales. Under pressure, though. Ownby takes it away. Foot race. Ownby's going to win most of those. Puts it across. Chance here! Hit the post. That's how quickly Louisville can do things in transition. Del Piccolo, a narrow miss.
That's Ownby again. Absolute brilliance there. Not only does he get the turnover ball here, putting Corrales under all sorts of pressure, but he whips it in. He doesn't have to beat anyone. He looks at the near post, puts in a fantastic ball. And Del Piccolo's so close to scoring. Does the keeper make the save? I'd have got a fingertip on it there, Sean Lewis.
Fingertip, post, and then hand again. Hit about everything it could to elicit that reaction from Del Piccolo. The only thing he wanted it to hit, though, was twine. This corner kick brought to you by Vivify. Taken short. McCabe, better angle, serves it, back post, flicked away. Corrales rises to it.
Quickly organize, quickly!
Sent it from the other side, nobody there, making the back post run. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com.
Oh, there's those wonderful fans with the hair, the bright yellow hair and all sorts there, but they make it such a great vibe. But sticking to the soccer here, Lou City already showing, not just Tulsa, but everyone watching, that They are so good in attack. They put you under pressure. They put good ball in the box. They have quality players in those positions, and Tulsa so far have managed to contain them, but this could be a tough 90 minutes for the visitors.
Louisville showing their offensive might. They've scored in 12 straight games, and 13 different players have a goal this season. Remarkable all around. Inside, looking for Lancaster. He has the most of them. Owen B chips it in. Bird settles in the midfield. Michael Encian starting to enjoy the way Lebo Maloto and Eric Bird are combining in the midfield. Lebo Maloto, a strong veteran here in USL, had some injury issues early in the season, worked his way back during that losing streak, actually. Took him some time to get back up to speed, and now he and Bird are starting to solidify things above that back line for Tulsa.
Yeah, and it has to happen soon, because those 4 matches in a row where they lost, they sort of dropped down the table, and as you mentioned early on, sitting currently in as the live table in 5th and outside of the playoff places. This team is too good to be outside of the playoffs, but it's going to be a tough match here to get any points tonight.
Out to Gomez. Now McCabe swings one in. Falls all the way through. The volley by Lancaster deflects in. Louisville goes up 1-0 in the 10th minute. Lancaster, a great enough score in and of himself. Gets a little help that time.
He's such a good finish. That's his 10th of the season in 13 games. And as he hits it, I'm looking at it thinking, this is a very tight angle. But you know what? There's the fans enjoying it. But he has a go. He gets the ball in there. He gets it on target. And yes, it does take a little bit of a deflection. But as we were saying a few minutes ago, if you get enough balls in there and enough shots on target, something's going to give. And yeah, he does get that deflection off Corrales, who misses the header initially, and then unluckily also deflects it past his goalkeeper. But that's the pressure that Lou City put you under. Have a look from behind. There's the deflection. I think actually Sean Lewis had it covered, but for the deflection.
That goal is presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery, the 10th of the season in the 10th minute for Cam Lancaster. For Lancaster, now 4 of those 10 have come against FC Tulsa. He's now the player down, though, after the challenge.
A referee very quick there, Malik Badawi, to stop play. And seen that Lancaster took a bit of a kick, and referee very quick to jump on that. But again, straight away, you can see Lou City back on the attack again, 1-0 up. Important time for FC Tulsa now. This is a bit of a tsunami of attacks coming at them. They've got to deal with them, try and get themselves on the ball, and try and get themselves into the opponent's half. They don't want to go 2-0 down at Lynn Family Stadium, or they could be in big trouble.
It's a 5th, 3rd free kick. Chance for Louisville to swing one in. And maybe find 2 in rapid succession. Gomez will position it. 6 assists on the season. Not the best of deliveries from Gomez. Still alive, though. Just kept in at the end line. Pat McMahon pressures. On the season, Louisville 11-1-3 when scoring first. Uphill battle now for Tulsa. It's got to be tough to say to yourself, well, we're only down 1-0, but then you see the record like that on the road at Lynn Family Stadium. And that 1-goal lead must feel like a 3-goal lead if you're Louisville.
Yeah, well, you're up against a fantastic Lou City side. You're up against a wonderful crowd that are in huge support. And the thing about FC Tulsa, for me, it's their attack that is really top class. Marlon, Joaquin Rivas, Rodrigo da Costa, now Jason Johnson. But you have to get the ball to them. And so it's so vital for those in midfield, especially the likes of Eric Bird, a very good ball player, to get service to the front players and try and get Lou City defending. We haven't seen much of that so far.
Johnson turns into some space. Rivas cleans it up. Rivas still with it. Plays it out wide. Marlone drives it into Gomez. Bird has a go of it. Blocked again. Bourgeois clips it out wide. Moloto. Clever ball to Corrales. 3 blocks in a row from Louisville, not getting anything into the box.
That's a better little spell of play for FC Tulsa. They were on the front foot. They started to get their front players playing, causing Lou City a few problems. This is what the fans will want to see.
Flag pops up for offside there.
That's frustrating. That's basic there from a throw-in. Can't pass the ball back to a player in an offside position. You work so hard to get good position, FC Tulsa. Can't afford to give it away cheaply.
You mentioned that stretch of road games coming up for Louisville because they played so many home games already. Andy Cruz, though, not worried about it at all. He said, we view our team as a team that could win wherever you're putting us, whether it's home, whether it's away, whether it's neutral site. And that's a confidence that you want in a manager if you're those players looking around the locker room knowing that he has that kind of belief in you.
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, they're so far ahead that I don't think getting into the playoffs is really an issue. So they can go into those away matches fairly relaxed.
Owen B. Out for a goal kick. On the flip side of that, Tulsa, they have this road game against Louisville. We're on the road next week against Birmingham. After that, 7 of the next 9 at home for Tulsa.
Wow.
So a chance for them in a very crowded middle of the pack in the Central Division to start gaining some ground on their home field.
It is a very, very busy division they're in. Michael Ensign will know all about that, with OKC jumping above them. And Atlanta United too, by the way, have been on a really good run at the moment. And obviously they can get some top players join their squad from the senior team, and then it really is a battle. So those home games, Tulsa, FC Tulsa will have had to have written down in the diary there. We need to get a whole bunch of wins to make sure that we're in a good playoff position, because a team as talented as this deserves to be in the playoffs, but you have to earn that right.
Quarter of an hour gone with Gary Bailey. I'm Joe Malfa. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Louisville City FC and FC Tulsa meeting for the 3rd time. Fireworks the first 2 times. 3-2 Louisville, then 3-2 Tulsa. Right now, 1-0 to the home side. Cam Lancaster, his 10th of the season. And for the time being, McCabe credited with the assist. That would be his 1st of the season. The question for Louisville, where do you continue to find motivation right now with where you're sitting in the standings? Andy Cruz said that's a really easy question to answer. Actually, it could be normal to switch off for a game or 2 in the summer during a run like this. He admitted that much. But for all that this team has accomplished throughout the years with the multiple championships, the one thing they haven't done is finish #1 in the regular season. You look at the past in this league, he said you need to average 2.15 points per game to get there, and they're on that pace. Owen B. Gets it from Del Piccolo, sends it in. Chidama clears. Moloto gets it further away.
Ownby there with another good ball into the box. He does measure his crosses, and most of the time defenders can read it, but you're not going to get every one that Ownby puts in, and that's where the pressure comes from. Mostly that right-hand side here for Lou City.
This portion of tonight's game is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
It's interesting, something else that Danny Cruz did say to us is that he felt the size of this pitch might be a challenge for FC Tulsa. Their pitch a lot smaller. It's a nice wide pitch that suits Lou City. So he wasn't sure whether FC Tulsa would find it as comfortable as their home pitch. Obviously, time will tell.
Acres of space on that bigger field right now for Ownby. Looking, but not finding Gonzalez. Tulsa, of course, playing on a converted baseball field, so much different here at Lynn Family Stadium. Danny Cruz felt that the field is what contributed to both of the previous two matches being as high scoring as they were. A bunch of factors, the field one of them. Two teams that like to get after it offensively in tight quarters. It's going to just naturally yield a lot of opportunities. But beyond that, the two previous times these teams played, it was at the end of a really busy run of games. A lot of games in a short span. And it was during 2 heat waves in Tulsa. So the heat, the fatigue from playing a lot of games, the tight confines, all factored in to those 3-2 score lines.
And they were almost opposing games. One team going in the lead with 3 goals, the other team having to fight back and try and claw the win. And one of them, it was Louisville City holding on to the win, and the other was Tulsa holding on to the win. So, but this is a different one because it's at Lynn Family Stadium and because Lou City have this wonderful crowd behind them. It's a different test for FC Tulsa, and I'm sure it's a test they've been looking forward to because they want to know just where they stand in this division, and Lou City are the standard bearers at the moment.
We've got some ground to make up too as Del Piccolo tumbles to the ground here. Well behind the pace, we only have 1 goal 20 minutes in. The first couple of times, it was Louisville 3-0 the first time they met. And the second time around, it was already 2-0 Tulsa by this point. So we were well off the pace at this point, Gary.
Oh, stick around. I can see more goals in this match still to come. But once again, Tulsa on the back foot. We had a momentary glimpse about 5 minutes ago of FC Tulsa attacking. Now they're back defending. And one of the keys was to defend as a team, which you can see all the numbers are there, and all the numbers are putting in a shift at the moment.
Sheldon looking to get it away. Gomez keeps it alive. Now it's Gonzalez. Clearance made by Jadama. Sheldon at right back for Tulsa. For as often as he gets forward, you would have expected to just accidentally come up with a goal here or there. He finally got his first goal last game, 76 appearances later. And again, for a player who joins the attack as much as he does, just an oddity there. But Michael Encian hoping that once he sees one go in, maybe another can follow.
We can thank Jason Johnson for that. He did the hold-up play and then slotted him in.
Gonzalez in for Ownby. Jadama, a wall there. Now a tug of the jersey of Ownby. Danny Cruz unhappy with that. Ownby sends it in, falls through. Lancaster, second shot. This one saved by Lewis.
What a good strike from Lancaster. Did he hit that well or what? Sean Lewis with a beautiful save once again. Brian Ownby, how does he get this cross in? He's right towards the touchline. He's under pressure. He's having his shirt pulled. He's being shoved and pulled. But have a look here. What a cross. Brilliant cross. And then watch Lancaster brings it down and bang. He absolutely thumped us. Great save by Sean Lewis.
Became the 6th player to 60 goals last week. Already has one tonight, Lancaster. McCabe from the corner. A lot of bodies surrounding Sean Lewis. He's taken short. Gomez. Drilled in by Gomez. It falls through. Shouts for a handball. Everybody in a purple jersey immediately reacted.
It's hard to tell, and as we mentioned before, the referee doesn't have VAR. You can only see it in that instant. And if your vision is blocked or you're not sure, you can't give it. It's always worth a shot, though, isn't it? But it's rarely given in the USL because without VAR, it's so difficult to see a clear handball.
Sheldon takes some space up the right side, finds Marlone. Marlone scored the first time these teams met in the 55th minute and the second time around in the 6th minute. So he and Acosta both getting on the score sheet in both games.
This is better for FC Tulsa. Get on the ball, knock it around, keep possession. Get yourself in the game a little bit because they haven't had much possession and they've been on the back foot for most of this first half. Just helps with your confidence, helps you get a touch on the ball. Oh, possession lost.
Lancaster, it's a pain after that. Ownby touches it around the defender. Tries to turn on the speed and get there. Lancaster still slow to get to his feet. Danny Cruz felt that should have been pulled back for the foul. There wasn't really much of an advantage there.
Quite sure what it was all about. I think it was Ownby got a sort of a slightly late tackle, but there wasn't much in it. Everyone getting all upset, but it is going to be a chippy game because no doubt FC Tulsa know that Atlanta United 2 have jumped above them. OKC could very well jump above them depending on the result today. And they know they're fighting for their chances in the playoffs, so absolutely you will see their players get really annoyed and get angry at everything that doesn't go their way. And quite rightly so. You've got to fight for the cause, fight for the badge.
Sheldon working inside with DaCosta. All the way across now for Corrales. Both of the wingbacks like to get forward for Tulsa. This one sent in towards Marlone. It falls for the volley. 4 blocks now from that back line of Louisville. They're not letting anything through to Parker Siegfried.
Good ball in, wasn't it? It caused all sorts of problems and everyone challenging for it. Once again, Lou City, good defense.
Parker Siegfried has worked his way into a rotation of sorts here. When asked about it, Danny Cruz said he's going to let the players make the decision for him. Right now, he sees it as 2 very capable goalkeepers. Until one of them really stands out above the other, he's content with playing either.
Yeah, Parker's been in for the last 4, and Chris Hubbard, the other goalkeeper, top class keeper. But it's nice to have that sort of competition. I used to hate it as a keeper because you want the consistency, you don't want to be in and out. But certainly it is forcing Parker Siegfried to play really well at the moment to hold on to that jersey.
.25 minutes gone. The lone goal belongs to Cam Lancaster, his 10th of the season in the 10th minute.
By the way, just going back to that other strike of his, what a fantastic save from Sean Lewis. But how quick was Lancaster to bring that under control and to volley it with tremendous power. Such a good player. Started back at Tottenham Hotspurs when he was a kid. And certainly brings a lot of talent and class to the USL.
Year in, year out. One of the top players, one of the top goal scorers. We're very happy to have him. They lost him briefly, but got him back. Second ever signing for Nashville SC in MLS before he worked his way back to Louisville.
Good pressure here from FC Tulsa. See quite a few of those black and gold shirts just putting pressure on, waiting for any error, any ball that they can pounce on. There they go again. Forcing Lou City to be careful as they play out the back.
They get it out of the back, but they give it right to Mojadama. Good turn from Maloto, forces Del Piccolo to take him down.
I think FC Tulsa are complaining, saying surely this deserves a yellow card. And in particular, Lebo Maloto asking the question from the referee.
Tulsa came into the day 11th in the league in goal scoring, but 24th in goals against.
As compared to Lou City, who is second in the USL for goals scored, 37, and for shots, 253. So just shows you why they are so good, Lou City. They get those shots on target, they get the crosses into the box. And you might say, well, once in a while they're lucky with a deflection or whatever, but if you get enough balls in the box, eventually something's going to go your way.
Luck does not happen by itself. You have to create some of it yourself sometimes. And if you, like you said, you continue to put that many shots on target, you get what happens in the 10th minute from Cam Lancaster.
100%. And they've been doing it all season. They've been doing it season after season, Lou City. So it certainly isn't a lucky thing at all. It's part of their game plan.
Good challenge put in by Sheldon. Gonzalez comes away with it, still battling for it. All the way back for Lewis. Lewis lost the starting role for quite some time for Tulsa. Austin Warmel stepped in. The youngster made his pro debut and never relinquished that jersey over the next few weeks. After that 4-game losing skid hit, though, they went back to Lewis. Ownby knocked away by Bourgeois, kept alive. McCabe on the right foot. McCabe's shot. Again, it took a slight deflection from Jadama, but this one stayed truer for Sean Lewis.
It's that combination again. Ownby down the right, gets it in, and then Del Piccolo picks it up, tries to make something of it. They do it so well, and you've got to stop the service from Ownby. The defender standing too far off him. Del Piccolo, a lovely little ball here to McCabe, and that was a clever effort. Didn't quite have the power because it took a deflection. But Ownby now has put in 4, 5, 6 really good crosses. As a defender, I would think you've got to get a bit tighter to him. Can't allow him to keep putting in ball like that.
I think McCabe might feel jealous as well. He's one of the only players out there for Louisville who doesn't have a goal. They have goals from 13 different players, as I mentioned earlier. McCabe, not one of them.
Trying to think who else, and I think it's only Sean Tosh is the only other player on the pitch. Maybe Tyler Gibson as well. There could be 3 of them who haven't scored.
Those are the 3 non-goalkeepers. It'd be something that if Parker Siegfried could find one today. Inside from McMahon. Del Piccolo the shot into the chest of Jadama. Well defended, kept his hands behind his back. Tell you what, Siegfried scoring still probably wouldn't be the weirdest goalkeeper stat line we've seen this year. Joe Kuzminski of Charleston this year had that one game where he had the penalty save, a clean sheet, and an assist. That is a trio of stats for a goalkeeper.
It's a hat trick, is it?
Gonzalez, smooth gliding through, but puts it right into the shin of Del Piccolo. Danny Cruz very happy with what he's gotten so far from Jorge Gonzalez. 6 previous appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist since joining on loan from Portland Timbers too. It's somebody that Danny Cruz has had his eye on for quite some time. He was coming back from injury, a guy with a nose for a goal and a creative mind. Once the opportunity was there to bring him into Louisville to fortify an already incredible attack, they jumped at that thought, and it somehow helped them get even better.
Yeah, his description, he called him lethal in the box, comfortable on the ball, and likes to be in tight spaces. And that's a player that's of value to you, a player who can, when there's players around him in tight spaces, can turn, wiggle, and get free, and that's what Jorge Gonzalez can do. But you're 100% right. Given how many good players they have in attack already, you add a player like that, it only gives you more depth. And this is the likes of, you know, Corbin Bone that's available for Lou City, who's not in the squad this weekend, and players on the bench. Antoine Openo, what a good player he is as well. So they have a lot of depth. Carl Gregg, of course, I haven't mentioned him on the bench. They have so much depth, Lou City.
Carl Gregg sitting on that bench with 5 goals. Johnson stumbles over the ball. Gomez comes away with it. Flipped over the top. Great ball looking for Ownby. Lewis saw it coming.
Well played by the goalkeeper in reading that, because Ownby was through. What a lovely ball to Ownby as well. And keeper reading it perfectly.
Ball sent the other way, falls for Johnson. The volley from Johnson, the save from Siegfried. First time he's had to come up big so far this evening.
Misheader at the back. That's the first mistake I've seen from Lou City in defense. Jason Johnson pounces on it. Have a look. Ball comes in. Where's Sharpie there? Just not able to get the ball away, and it falls for Jason Johnson. Hits it at Parker Siegfried, and he makes a really solid save there, the goalkeeper.
Cam Lancaster opens up. Realizes he's a man on an island and waits for some help to join. McMahon.
Stay together! Come on! Midfield!
I think we heard a shout of "stay together," which I'm assuming is the press, that all the FC Tulsa players, they press together and they get the turnover ball. So well done, FC Tulsa.
I was curious to see how the possession battle would wind up in this game, Gary. The first 2 times these teams met, Louisville on July 10th, 70% possession.
Wow.
Back on June 19th, though, 60% for Tulsa. So 2 totally opposite games in terms of that.
I think sometimes those possessions can have to do with if you take an early lead, you sit back and defend that lead, and you don't have possession. This one here shows you just how strong Lou City are. They've had, I would think, what I'm guessing 60%-ish of the possession, and they're still dominating most of this game, making it difficult for Tulsa to get on the front foot.
Ownby again across. Jadama there. McMahon gathers. Ownby a busy man so far tonight. McCabe. Back again for Ownby. Drives one in. Bird heads it away. Haven't seen the ball much at the feet of DaCosta. Dangerous whenever he does have it, though, looking for Johnson. DaCosta fighting to win it back, taken down.
I'm not sure about DaCosta going to ground that. I don't think there was enough contact to warrant falling over, and that's what they're saying to each other. A little bit of chirping going on between the 2 of them. The referee's given it the way of Lou City. Let's have a look at it again. I thought he won the ball fairly, but that touch going to ground, slightly overacting.
Lancaster. Ownby again on the right side. Cutting in. Finds an option. It's McCabe. No man's land there between McMahon and Ownby. August is USL Supporters Month. We want to hear from you. Visit uslchampionship.com/supporters-month for more information on how you can get involved and have a chance to be featured as a supporter of the week. I think we've had a handful of supporters we've seen tonight at Lynn Family Stadium that could be in the running if there's some sort of contest there.
It's just lovely to see fans back again, and it's been so many months of empty stadiums or just a handful of people. There they are. Just, it's the energy the fans bring. It's the love for the game, and as a player, you thrive on that. Even if you're the wayside, you still love going to some of these grounds and just feeding off the home fans.
Very easy to be happy in this stadium when your team is also 11-3-3 with just 1 loss in the last 68 days.
And that loss was against FC Tulsa. And that's going to be at the back of Lou City's mind, is that the one team that did trip up Danny Cruz and company was Tulsa FC. Yes, they were at home, which makes a big difference, but they know how good this Tulsa side is going forward. I don't think they'll be taking anything for granted. 1-0 is still a very tenuous scoreline. Obviously, Lou City would love a couple more just so they can kick back and relax a bit.
And it's a Tulsa team as well where the record is maybe a bit misleading. You see 7-8-1, but you parse through it. It's a team that's playing really well and beating some top competition, but they're also playing down to the level of some other competition. So it's tough to make sense of them.
I think it's still a team that Michael Encien's building, that's trying to get the confidence, and the confidence will come from defense, because going forward they are unquestionably a wonderful side, Tulsa, but they need to be able to keep clean sheets, and once again they haven't been able to do that.
Tulsa just came off that 4-game losing streak in which they only scored 2 goals. They were shut out twice. In the other 2 games they scored 1 goal apiece. And despite that stretch for Michael Encien's squad only scoring 2 goals in 4 games, they're still right there, just outside the top 10 in goals scored in the league.
Watch out for young Gomez with this curling ball.
Floats one, hangs up there for quite a bit. Jadama gets to it first. Tosh ranging over, keeps it in. Joaquin Rivas left for a little bit to play in the Gold Cup. Continued his goal scoring form in the Gold Cup with El Salvador. 2 goals in their quarterfinal matchup against Qatar. Johnson the first to it. Sprays it out wide for Corrales. Corrales sends the cross in. Penalty area. Dealt with for the moment. Out to Sheldon. Sheldon sends one in towards the back post. Dicey one for Siegfried.
Good defending again. I think it was Sharpie got his head on that one. Good ball into the box, but the center backs for Lou City have been dominant. And Sharpie got rid of it. The second ball coming back in wasn't of enough quality to give Lou City too many problems. But I think for FC Tulsa fans, at least their team are on the front foot, and that's a good sign for the visitors.
Two of the East's best clash to kick off a fall to remember when the USL on ESPN continues. Perennial contenders Louisville City FC travel to Dillon Stadium to meet Hartford Athletic in a potential playoff preview September 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Big stage for Louisville. It's one of the top teams in the league. It should be a fun one as well against Hartford.
Yeah, Hartford have been struggling a little bit of late. They're also slipping down the table a touch, and they'll be absolutely desperate to get themselves back on winning ways.
Today's results could alter things, but at the end of last night, after Charleston fell to Tampa, after Hartford fell to Tampa and Charleston won their match against Loudoun, Charleston did jump Hartford, to your point, that Hartford has tumbled down a bit.
Yep, they're all on 24. Hartford's 24 points, Charleston Battery's 24, and currently on live standings, Charlotte's 24 as well. How about that for a battle for that fourth spot in the Eastern Atlantic Division? And funny enough, as we say it in live time, in the Eastern Central, Tulsa 22 points, Indy 11 22 points, OKC Energy 22 points. So three teams level there on that fourth spot. So in both those leagues, it is so tight at the moment.
There are a lot of opinions going around, positive, negative, about the season format. I am very much on the positive side because you look all around the league and the races that you see right now, everything is tight. Sure, there are teams like Louisville, like a Phoenix, like an El Paso, who are maybe running away with the top of the division, but you look down at that playoff line with the target every team has of getting to fourth place, and there is a lot to sort out, and we are just past the halfway mark. It's going to be a very, very entertaining sprint to the finish.
I agree with you 100%. I think it's a fantastic format. And even if you go to the Western Mountain Division, Colorado Springs Switchbacks are third position on 26. San Antonio just 2 points behind them. Austin Bold 1 point further back. New Mexico United a point behind them. It is all going to twist and turn, no doubt, before the end of the season. And even in the Western Pacific, Tacoma, San Diego, LA Galaxy, Sacramento, Las Vegas are all battling there. I just think if every division is so close, it has to be a successful format. And well done to everybody involved.
Tulsa, the prime example. They began yesterday in third. They could very well end today in seventh. They hope that's not the case, though.
Well, it's a tough place to come to and get a result, but at some point in the season, you've got to stand up and be counted, and Tulsa are good enough to get a result here. And they should be desperate enough, given that they, as you say, they can slip down. So let's see how they progress from here. They are 1-0 down, but they seem to have slowed things down. They've dealt with the pressure. They've come back in the game a little bit. And who knows, maybe if they can get a goal here, they can turn the tide their way.
A very telling stretch for Tulsa on the schedule. Be a very good barometer of where exactly they are. They have this game against Louisville as the filling of a sandwich of Birmingham Legion. They won the first game 3-1. They play Birmingham again next week. Those are the top two teams in the division. And that 3-1 win last week, very dramatic finish in the end. The 22nd minute, Sheldon got the goal. Nico Brett had his 11th of the season, second best in the league in the 66th. Down to the wire, though, Marlone scored in the 88th, and Cabato 90+1 to give Tulsa the 3-1 win and the 3 points.
Yeah, and those 2 goals in the last couple of minutes, Lou City would have marked that and thought, you know what, this team played for 90 minutes, guys. Don't you be thinking that, and I'm sure it's what's going to be said at halftime by Danny Cruz, don't think 1-0's enough. We saw what happened against Birmingham Legion. You've got to, if you're going to win this, you've got to put the team to the sword by getting a second and a third. Obviously, Michael Ensien will have a different team talk. It'll be like getting back in the game, getting on the front foot, which is exactly what they're doing right now.
Marlone picks his head up and drives the laces through it. Doesn't trouble Siegfried, but the confidence of a striker who is a couple of goals in his back pocket against Louisville this season.
4 goals overall, Marlon, 2 assists. So much skill going forward, and we're beginning to see a little bit more of it. So as they go into halftime, I think FC Tulsa fans watching will probably be feeling a little bit happier about their team. For Parker Siegfried, you mentioned that he's played the last 4 games in that battle he has with Chris Hubbard. None of them have been clean sheets. So far, this is a clean sheet, and goalkeepers do tend to measure themselves by that number of clean sheets. So far, so good for Parker Siegfried in goals for Lou City.
McCabe. Ownby. Works in the middle with Gibson. Space taken by Sharpie. Now Gonzalez. Patient build. In the end for naught, as he was looking for Lancaster. Stoppage time is presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Referees have added just 1 minute here in this first half. Louisville has scored first in all of their victories this season. The goal right now belongs to Cam Lancaster in the 10th minute, his 10th of the season. And the assist from Niall McCabe. That makes it 13 straight games with a goal now for Louisville. Marlone wins a corner for Tulsa right here at the end of this half. Might be the last opportunity. And this season series has already seen 1 first half stoppage time goal. Belonged to Kyle Gregg last time these teams met in that 3-2 win for Tulsa. DaCosta whips it in. A lot of bodies around Parker Siegfried, but he emerges with it, and the whistle is blown to end the half. Louisville up 1-0 on Tulsa.
Yeah, a good first half for Lou City. Started it strong, Cam Lancaster. A couple of good strikes, 1 fantastic save from Sean Lewis. A wonderful strike from Cam Lancaster, but long way to go in this match.
Long way to go,
yeah,
but with that stat line, looks good for Louisville.
Oh, it does look good, and they're at home at Lynn Family Stadium. They're so good there, but if Tulsa get on the front foot with the strikers they have, we could be in for a cracking second half.
And the last 2 times these teams have met, the fireworks again have been there. 3-2 Louisville the first time, 3-2 Tulsa the second time. The season series has shifted over to Lynn Family Stadium. The fans love it, and they love the fact that Cam Lancaster put them up 1-0 in the 10th minute. Back in just a moment with the Serve Pro halftime show.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Ooh, RAV4.
It's a great time to save on the 2021s while they last.
Ooh, Venza.
Toyota's got an exciting lineup to choose from.
Oh, Highlander, could you?
Oh, sure. You have to understand, it's the National Sales Event.
Get 2.49 financing plus 750 TFS finance cash on any new 21 Highlander, Highlander Hybrid, or gas-powered RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 for $209 a month.
Hey, that's my line.
Toyota, let's go places.
Commonwealth Credit Union has been ranked Best In-State Credit Union in Forbes magazine for a 3rd time. When we opened our doors in 1951, we named ourselves Commonwealth to remind us every day of who we're here to serve. Our friends, our neighbors, right here in the Bluegrass. And we've been bettering lives in our communities ever since. If you've never tried Commonwealth Credit Union before, come check out what you've been missing. Because here, we see you differently.
It's the first day
of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
When we hit the field, it's game on.
Louisville City FC is on the hunt for our third star. This is our city, Louisville City. The city of soccer, the city of champions.
No matter where you're watching the match, when we take the field, we're doing it for you, for us, and for the city.
Watch Louisville City FC take on Oklahoma City Energy FC August 22nd at 6 on WBKI. Presented by Commonwealth Credit Union.
Welcome back to the halftime break. Louisville City up against FC Tulsa. And why don't we go back to the midweek action? Some great goals, some fantastic games that we can take you through. Starting with Pittsburgh up against Miami FC. And the Riverhounds were off to a great start. Tommy Williamson from outside the box sticks it into the near post. Delighted with that. Gave the home team a 1-0 lead. And then the one and only Conrado Forbes with an incredible strike. Look at that volley there. Home side 2-0 up. The ball coming in from Alex Dixon. Seemed to be all going well for the Riverhounds until Cristiano Francois decided to do something for Miami FC. Just tucks it in here, sneaks it past the keeper. 2-1, game on. And literally a minute later, Devin Williams, the assist from Ariel Martinez, and they're back on level terms, Miami FC. Have a look at this, pull back and whack past the keeper. 2-2, level pegging, everything to play for. And would you believe it? It's Kilwine, Preston Kilwine, who gives away the penalty. Minutes from the end, up steps Devin Williams, and Miami walk away with all 3 points. They're now third in the league, just 3 points behind Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Let's go on to Atlanta United 2 up against OKC Energy. The one and only William Biev once again scoring, this time from the penalty spot, sends the keeper the wrong way. But Robbie Mertz, after this Chris Allen shot off the post, who's quickest to respond? Robbie Mertz, what a strike. How quick was that to stick that in the back of the net? 1-1, but it's that man Biev once again, one touch, two touch, back of the net. Is he on form or what? Absolutely brilliant, but heartbreak. 93rd minute, and it's David Mejia who sneaks in at the near post. OKC just get the 1 point and they stay just outside those playoff places. On to Birmingham Legion up against Sporting Kansas City 2. And a poor header here, and Petar Kujic thunders that one in. What a strike this is. Have a look, see it from behind. Keeper, no chance with that one. But early on, Nico Brett gets Birmingham Legion back in with a strike of his own. One touch and a fantastic volley. So it is 1-1. Home side goes ahead. Brilliant little flick on header there from JJ Williams. 2-1. And Birmingham Legion are cruising, or are they? Who's marking Jamil Roberts? Nobody. Smacks it in the back of the net with his head. 2-2. And now Birmingham Legion losing a couple of points until Junior Fleming steps up. Thank you very much. In the corner, under the goalkeeper's hands. 3-2. They're back in front. And just to make sure, Anderson Asiedu pops up here. A little bit of a deflection past the keeper. 4-2. 3 points in the bag. Birmingham second in the Eastern Central, behind Lou City. Plenty more coming up after the break. News and notes. Don't go anywhere.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
7.
At Mortensen Family Dental, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to keep your smile healthy. That's why we provide convenient online scheduling for new patients, accept most dental insurances, and offer an affordable dental discount club for those without insurance. All the while keeping your family's safety our top priority. Call or visit us online to make an appointment. We'll give you a reason to smile.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Thanks, I'm here for a great deal.
Great deals are kind of our thing. You can save on the 2021s while they last, like Camry, Venza, Corolla.
Watching them come and go is really getting to my neck.
Occupational hazard this time of year. Gotta keep it loose.
Get a great deal on the legendary 4Runner or get a rugged new 21 Tacoma with 2.49 financing up to 72 months, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance included.
It all ends September 7th.
Toyota, let's go places.
The Serve Pro halftime show continues from Lynn Family Stadium, where Louisville City FC leads FC Tulsa 1-0 with Gary Bailey. I'm Joe Malfa. We take a look around USL Championship now with some news and notes. A reminder that it is Supporters Month. Visit that link to learn more. And then we have some honors to get through. The Clear Audio Player of the Week, Tyler Wolf, hat-trick and an assist in the win over Indy 11. And then some monthly honors, Mark Lowry, Coach of the Month for El Paso. That team right now just running away with things in their division. Kyle Murphy, the Player of the Month. He has quietly been very strong for Memphis, a team that is looking to climb the standings in the Central Division. Speaking of which, let's take a look at those standings in the Central Division. Louisville at the top right now. Birmingham below them. This is coming into our Louisville game, so it factors in Atlanta's win earlier today, and there's so much still to be sorted out.
Yeah, matches. I think Indy 11's in the middle of a match at the moment that they're winning, and they're almost on level with 22 points, and OKC might have won theirs. I haven't seen the latest result there. So, and that's just this weekend. Next weekend it will all chop and change again. It's going to be a battle right to the end, and what's made it even tougher is Atlanta United too have had a fantastic run in recent weeks, a whole bunch of wins, and they've shot right up the table into that third position.
At this very moment, Indy leads OKC, so if that were to update on the fly, it would have 3 teams with 22 points. Now we look ahead at the schedule for the rest of the night, sponsored by Corsair Charities. Help a child in our community now at corsair.org/donate. Gary, after we get out of here, where are you turning your dial to tonight?
Phoenix, Orange County. It's 1 and 2 there in that Western Pacific Division. And those are both fantastic sides here. But you look through there, even below that, Sacramento Republic is struggling, but they can still make the playoffs. Las Vegas Lights also have had a couple of really good games, including a 2-2 draw against Phoenix. You go to the left, San Diego. They've been playing reasonably well, but up and down. As we said earlier, there's so many exciting matchups in these 4 divisions that almost every single game is worth watching at the moment.
And this one is worth watching as well. 45 to go between Louisville and Tulsa, separated by just 1 goal. We'll be back in a moment.
At Mortensen Family Dental, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to keep your smile healthy. That's why we provide convenient online scheduling for new patients, accept most dental insurances, and offer an affordable dental discount club for those without insurance. All the while keeping your family's safety our top priority. Call or visit us online to make an appointment. We'll give you a reason to smile.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Ooh, RAV4.
It's a great time to save on the 2021s while they last.
Ooh, Venza.
Toyota's got an exciting lineup to choose from.
Oh, Highlander. Could you?
Oh, sure. You have to understand, it's the National Sales Event.
Get 2.49 financing plus 750 TFS finance cash on any new 21 Highlander, Highlander Hybrid, or gas-powered RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 for $209 a month.
Hey, that's my line.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Kroger, we take scrutinizing freshness to a whole new level, where only the best of the best of the best will do. But just because you can't get any higher than perfect 10 produce, that doesn't mean that we won't try. Because Kroger produce isn't just fresh, it's fresher than fresh. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Enjoying the sunshine and fresh air can be hard for many of us. Advanced ENT and Allergy is the regional leader in upper airway care. From allergies, sinus problems, sleep apnea, hearing health, and more, our medical team treats everyone like family. Advanced ENT and Allergy offers same-day appointments, and for many, no referral is needed. Our outstanding team of physicians, along with state-of-the-art technology, can get you breathing right, sleeping well, and feeling better sooner. Go to advancedentandallergy.com for your appointment. 8 locations.
These fans are anxious to see kick of half number 2. The players making their way back out onto the field. 45 to go with Louisville up 1. Now let's take a look at how they got that lead. With a look at the first half highlights brought to you by CNL Heating and Air.
Yeah, have a look at Ownby on this right-hand side. He's been causing nothing but trouble. Nicks the ball there. What he does so well is, even though he's under pressure, he still whips the ball in. Del Piccolo near post, and Sean Lewis with a little bit of a touch, just enough to get it onto the post. Then it comes off the post, his head, and goes for a corner. Good save there from the keeper. Then have a look at this from the other side. Ball comes in. Corrales, he commits himself and doesn't even get a header on it, and then he deflects the ball in his own net. The deflection's unlucky. Well done, Cam Lancaster. But have a look, missing the header completely when nobody's challenging you. That's poor defending there from Corrales, and he pays the price. Cam Lancaster hitting the back of the net for his 10th goal of the season in just 13 matches. Guess who on the right-hand side? Brian Ownby yet again, and another lovely ball gets whipped in. Lancaster with a great strike. What a save by Sean Lewis. This is top class. Cam Lancaster can't believe it. Look at him, he's saying, what do I have to do to beat this keeper? And then Joe, just the one chance going the other way. Sharpie doesn't quite clear the header, goes to Jason Johnson, fires it at Parker Siegfried, who makes a decent save. That's the one chance there for the visiting FC Tulsa side.
Parker Siegfried, again, making his 4th consecutive start. Only had those 2 shots to deal with. Even game overall, but the difference, of course, Cam Lancaster's goal.
Yeah, possessions even, which surprised me. I thought Louisville had a little bit more, but shots on target's important. Louisville City, twice as many shots on target and a whole bunch more crosses as well. You get ball to that man there, Cam Lancaster, and then you're going to get some joy if you're a Lou City player.
Tonight's nuggets of the match are brought to you by Chick-fil-A Kentuckiana. Cam Lancaster had that diving header not too long ago, 57th goal. Past teammate George Davis in the record book, and he has continued to go further and further beyond that, now with 61, after last week becoming the 6th player in league history to 60 goals. There's been rain in the area throughout the day in Louisville. Very slick pitch. Ready to go for half number 2. Louisville from right to left in their trademark purple, and Tulsa in the blacks from left to right. I am very partial, Gary, to matchups where the colors don't clash, when teams both go for their primary colors instead of wearing the white.
Yeah, the boys in purple, as they're known, Lou City. And Tulsa's got that lovely black and gold outfit, very stylish.
Sharpie plays it all the way back for Siegfried. Reminder, this team, Louisville, 8-1-1 when leading at the half, 11-1-3 when scoring first. They did both of those things tonight. There is one knock on Louisville, though, defensively. It has been coming out in the second half. They've given up 6 goals in the last half hour of games. Gomez ricochets a couple of times, out for Ownby. Saves it. Saw Ownby on the right side a lot in the first half, gravitating over to the left now. Knotted down by Lancaster. Flag went up for offside. This portion of tonight's game is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
We were just talking a moment or two ago about Lou City in defense. Only 1 clean sheet in the last 6 matches. Now, to be fair to them, they've won 5 and drawn 1 in those last 6. So it's not really a big criticism. But, you know, when you get to playoffs and things get tighter against some of the top teams in the USL, you will want to keep those clean sheets. So far, so good, though, for the defenders of Lou City.
Maybe something though here. DaCosta through. The shot is saved by Siegfried. Still alive. Johnson. Player down is DaCosta. Johnson powers off. Toast takes the shot. It's deflected.
Well, that's a fantastic save from Parker Siegfried. A brave one. Every chance he was going to get a kick in the head, and in fact it's DaCosta who came off second best, but DaCosta threw one-on-one. A bit of lax defending by Lou City. Early ball, Sean Tosh caught out there. DaCosta goes through, goalkeeper makes the save, and then they collide. So it was after the save was made. Save made on the edge of the box by Parker Siegfried, and then a clash of bodies. That's great goalkeeping, and what a chance for FC Tulsa to have got the equalizer.
Siegfried catches a break there as well. He was out of the box. Fortunately for him, it hit him in the leg instead of the hand on the save attempt.
That's true. If DaCosta had managed to flick the ball over and then gone down, it would have been seen as a free kick outside the box and potential yellow or even red card. But he did make the save, Siegfried, and a vital save, and I wonder if that changes the swing of the match, whether it goes back in Lou City's favor, because a goal there for Tulsa, and it really would have been match on.
Just goes back to what Danny Cruz was talking about with that Sporting Kansas City match last week. Louisville leads 1-0 at the half, and in the second half early on, SKC gets the goal. They switched off for just one moment. And now the concern is Cam Lancaster holding his left leg.
Yeah, Danny Cruz is calling the substitutes over. Clearly he feels it's potentially a bad injury and might need a substitution. And players tend to know when they're in trouble and when they, I don't want to lip read and tell you what he's saying, but he's not happy. He knows he's got a problem there. But just going back to what you said in defense there, Sean Toast just switching off for a split second, and but for his goalkeeper, they might have paid a big price. Parker Siegfried coming to the rescue. And this will be a big blow. If they lose Cam Lancaster, yes, they have Kyle Gregg to bring off the bench. You're talking about a man who scored 10 goals in 13 games. Daniel Cruz will not want to lose him. Let's have a look here. Ombi looking up, playing the ball. Oh, did you see his right knee there just pop for a second? I wonder if that was it. Whether it was the collision there. It just looked like his knee just moved a bit laterally.
For as bad as that looked initially, great to see him jog back out onto the field, still favoring it. I hope he's all right, and that's a positive sign. Kyle Gregg was stirring down on the touchline, set to check in if need be. But Lancaster will soldier on for the moment.
You have to be so careful with the injuries because you can think they're okay when they're not.
Owenby threads it through for McCabe. Gomez coming on the overlap. McCabe takes it himself. McCabe lays it off. Lancaster hobbled leg and all, and it's blocked away.
Was there a chance for McCabe to shoot there? I thought it all opened up for him, and instead of having a dip, he tries to get it to Lancaster, which if Lancaster have space, of course you give it to the best striker, but I thought McCabe had a lot of opportunity to have got a shot on target.
Testing out that leg right away for Lancaster. I was getting flashbacks there as McCabe had the option to go left for Gomez. That's how Gomez scored the goal against Tulsa the first time these teams met. On the overlap, a rocket of a left-footed shot from inside the box on an overlap like that. Moloto has space on the right side. Sheldon enters the picture. Forward to Marlone. Dealt with by Gibson in the middle. Moloto finds DaCosta on that magical left foot of his. Goes out wide for Rivas. Long run to keep it in, but he does. Working on McMahon. Goes top of the box for Bird. Moloto not wise to the challenge from behind, and Lancaster goes down again.
He's holding that same knee. I think he's in trouble there. Hate to see that, but he's trying to get himself up, but that does not look good.
Now he's favoring the right leg. Before it was the left, now it's the right, and he's back to the ground. Johnson lays it inside. Maloto, DaCosta. Out from Marlone. Lancaster back to ground again. Back to his feet. Keeping an eye on him on the left side. Marlone tries to send the ball in.
Danny Cruz has got his arm up. He wants the play to stop so he can get Lancaster off.
We'll stop here for the goal kick. For Lancaster going back to ground. Kyle Gregg was stirring a moment ago.
Just I sometimes wonder when you get a knee problem whether you want to keep on playing. Lancaster's complaining he got bumped again.
First time he went down, he was holding that left knee. This time it looked like he was holding the right ankle. Now he's mad at something. Just stomped on there.
Stood on his toe, yes. He's not having an easy day today, is he? Cam Lancaster. But I mean, Kyle Gregg is a wonderful replacement to have. So if you've got any problems, any doubts, you wouldn't want to take a risk with a player as valuable as Cam Lancaster is. He's hobbling badly. Having retired from a knee injury myself, I know the sort of pains you go through and the injuries and the operations that a bad knee injury can give you. So don't take any risks, especially when you've got Kyle Gregg to bring on.
Lancaster is making his way back to midfield. He is staying in the match.
He's a tough guy.
Just have to applaud the toughness of Lancaster. The positive sign to garner from that, at least from the replay, it wasn't the left knee from before. He got stomped on the right foot, and he's back out there now to the cheers of the crowd.
He's just not moving freely, is he? Have a look at him. He's hobbling. I'm not quite sure what effect you have on the team if you're hobbling. You can do more, you know, more bad to your team if you're not 100% fit. So I'm just wondering if Danny Cruz is going to step in here and say, look, for your own sake and the team's come off. No, now he's moving well. Oh, well, let's see what happens.
Bird plays through, looking for DaCosta. Thumbs up from DaCosta. It's out wide for a throw-in.
By the way, talking of subs, we're coming to that point in about 5 minutes' time where teams do make some changes, and some lovely options for both sides. For Tulsa, Dario Suarez, of course, who's such a clever player up front, and Kembo Kubato, who scored in the last match, are options.
Ownby. Lancaster looks okay right now in the middle. Ownby cuts it back to strike from Ownby. Rises into the fourth row. Anybody on that top line can provide a spark at any moment for Louisville.
Rush of blood there for Ownby. I think he saw the goal and then had a dip. There was a number of players in the middle that he could have possibly found. Good bit of skill there. It was worth a try, but I think Jonathan Gomez at the far post had his hands up saying, come on, I was free, try and pick me out. One thing about Ownby is he has the ability to stick it in the top corner. It didn't work that time, but it has in the past.
McCabe to Ownby. Double deflection, out for a corner.
Good pressure from Lou City. Go back to that chance from DaCosta that Siegfried saved. If Tulsa scored then, they were back in it. Instead, they're having to defend. 1-0 down, a second goal here, and it would be a mountain to climb for FC Tulsa.
It's a Vivify corner kick for Louisville City FC. Opportunity here to double the tally, get some insurance. Gomez, the service. Falls for McMahon. Ownby. Ownby sends one in. Chested down. Del Piccolo had a go of it. Gonzalez powering through off the face of Bourgeois. Play immediately stopped for the head injury.
Wow, that was a good strike and a hard strike from Jorge Gonzalez. It looked like it was flying in the top corner, so bravery there from Bourgeois, took it full in the face. putting his body on the line. But if you see it from behind, it looked like it was heading right in the top corner. What a strike. And what brave centre-back play to put your body and your face in front of it. Have a look at it now. As the ball comes back, it's going to drop to Gonzalez in a moment. There's a bit of a battle on the edge of the box here. Now he takes it. Now have a look at this. That is rocketing towards the top corner, and bang! It hits Bourgeois right in the side of the face. People at home who haven't played the game don't know how painful that can be, and how much bravery it takes to keep your face there and not duck. Because if it had ducked, I think that would have flown into the top corner.
Now, you and I played at very different levels. You for Manchester United, me for high school. And I can tell you, as a left back, there were many times where I got my face out of the way of that. And it's a reason that I'm here with a headset on and didn't continue the career the way you did.
It's the reason why you got a straight nose and it's not all broken. That's the bravery of Bourgeois there. Really putting his body and head on the line there for his team. He's smiling about it now.
Wasn't smiling about it about 30 seconds ago. And a thumbs up. There you go.
Thumbs up, big. Yeah. Just worried, obviously, about concussion protocols, and referee very quick to step in there. Malik Badawi, well done. It's the right decision.
Play will continue for Louisville. And Bourgeois is right back out there. Nifty move from Gomez. Gets a ball into the back post. Nobody crashing there.
What a ball that was from Jonathan Gomez. No wonder they're so excited about him, and I bet the Real Sociedad scouts can't wait for him to join the Spanish side. Brilliant skills, opens up the gap and whips that ball right across the face of the box. If I was a striker or anyone, the moment he gets the ball on that left-hand side, I'll be bombing in the box, because you know there's a good chance he's going to get a decent ball in for you.
The teenager, 6 assists this season. You can see, besides Real Sociedad, why the United States and Mexico are both battling for his services internationally.
Absolutely, 17 years of age. What an absolute talent he is. We were talking a few minutes ago about potential subs, and I mentioned Gabato and Dario Suarez for Tulsa. They also have a new signing. Johnny Fennick comes from Las Vegas Lights. He's on the bench at 18 appearances for Las Vegas Lights. So I wonder if FC Tulsa fans will get a chance to see their new signing.
Dario Suarez has 4 goals, 2 assists on the season. All of those came in the very early stages of the season. He hit a bit of a rut in his run of form. It's part of the reason why Jason Johnson is in there. But certainly an option off the bench when in need of a goal. Gonzalez somehow comes through all 3 of those black jerseys defending. Now it's Ownby with a head of steam on his right foot. Ownby lays it off. Gonzalez takes the strike. Avoids Bourgeois that time, but puts it wide of the goal.
Good play there from Jorge Gonzalez. He's a big player, but he's so good with his feet, runs at the defense, creates all sorts of options there, and Ownby as well. He has that ability, so between them all, look at Gonzalez there. He strikes wide. He started the move. He had the initial surge forward, then Ownby. So good going forward, Lou City.
This portion of tonight's game brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
And when it comes to subs, besides Kyle Gregg for Lou City, we haven't mentioned that the likes of Opano, who had an assist in the previous match, Masoso, good fresh legs that are available to Danny Cruz if he wants.
McCabe, great ball to Ownby. End line for Ownby. Dama got in the way of it. That ball nearly stayed in somehow, but it's out for a corner now. Gomez will trot back out to take it. The fans would certainly love an insurance goal. Breathe a little bit easier.
Well, I'm sure the coach and the players would as well. But they're putting the pressure on, so you never know. It could come.
That guy looks like he's just having a good time regardless.
As most of them are at the Lynn Family Stadium.
We'll have a lot better time if this one ends up in the back of the net. Gomez sends it in off of Del Piccolo's face. Still alive. Tosh fizzes it across. Falls for Gonzalez. The shot deflects just wide.
Wow. So many chances there. One off the other. Gonzalez can't believe it because he really caught that with some power. Del Piccolo actually hit him on the back of the head. Have a look here. It's touched. Well, what happens is a slight deflection at the front. Tosh puts it back in, comes back out. Whack, he hits this Gonzalez, and he can't believe it hasn't gone in. And that's the pressure they're putting on at the moment. And in fact, they did score in the last match against Sporting Kansas City too from a corner. That was Ombi who got the header on that occasion.
Service not as positive that time. Gomez gets a secondary ball in though. Jadama there. Marlone heads it into space. Johnson on the run. Shrieking down the middle, calling for the ball. Didn't get it from Malota, won't get it from Marlone either. Corrales into the back of Ownby. This season, we mentioned 8-1-1 for Louisville when leading at the half. Tulsa, when they've trailed at the half, 5 losses. That's it. It's been a struggle for them when they've had to battle from behind.
This is a tough game in which to break that run. Of all the teams you want to come back against, Lou City is one of the hardest. But again, that could just turn their season around. If they get a result here tonight, a draw perhaps even, they'll get that belief that they can go all the way and climb back into those playoff places.
And aside from the 3 points, I think Danny Cruz really hopes this is a clean sheet as well. You were mentioning clean sheets have been hard to come by. Parker Siegfried hasn't gotten one yet. The defense has been improving for Louisville. They've conceded just 5 goals over the last 6 games. When you compare that to the previous 4 games, they conceded 10 goals in that run of 4. So they've had some marked improvements defensively of late.
And I'm sure Danny Cruz will be thinking ahead, and he'll be weighing up Siegfried on the one hand, Chris Hubbard on the other. He won't want to admit that he's thinking of playoffs, but probably every once in a while he does think, I need to get a tight defense going into the playoffs. I'm going to come up against some fantastic sides. Maybe we have to scrape a 1-0 win, and a clean sheet will be vital in doing that.
They're certainly thinking about the playoffs as a whole, as he made mention that they are admittedly scoreboard watching to see what the likes of El Paso and Phoenix and Tampa and Pittsburgh are doing elsewhere in the league. They want to win the league in first place overall. It's the one thing they haven't done. The group, this core of players that have won multiple championships, are very well aware of it. They think and hope this year could be the year. Corner sent in from McCabe. Bodies collide, trickling to the back post, headed across, on the goal line, still there, now it's in! Lancaster, 2 bad legs, 2 goals, don't matter, Louisville up 2-0.
He's got a nose for goals, hasn't he, Lancaster? He knows where that ball drops, and he's the first to react. I don't even think he should be on the pitch. The number of injuries he's picked up in the second half, but bravery, determination, and that's the payback for him. A couple of question marks, though, about the defending. Sean Lewis just not quite getting the punch on that ball that he wanted, and it dropped back in the danger area, and that's how he got punished. But give Lancaster the credit for being the quickest to react. Here's the ball in. Watch the goalkeeper here. Comes out, doesn't quite get a clean punch, and it goes back into the danger area. Sean Tosh is the man who heads it back. Lancaster finishes it off. Now they do have that cushion they wanted, and it's a massive uphill battle for FC Tulsa.
Those 2 injuries he sustained earlier in the half, both times Kyle Gregg was ready to shed the penny and spring to action. Both times Cam Lancaster waved it off and got back out there, and he scores his 2nd goal of the match, presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery, 2nd of the night, 11th of the season. Challenge here, edge of the area, a heavy one from McMahon. Sets up Tulsa in a great position. We've seen Rodrigo da Costa score a couple of these this season.
A man's got that look of really a yellow card. That's the first bad tackle, but I think the Tulsa players are very quick to jump on that and appeal to the referee. Either way, you're quite right. It's a free kick in a dangerous position, and if they could get one back, Tulsa, they can still make this a grandstand finish. They scored 2 late goals in their last match against Birmingham Legion. You can see Pat McMahon here just totally misses the ball, and in fact, yeah, turns his foot, and definitely is a foul, probably worthy of a yellow card.
The referee has shown a Vivify yellow card to Pat McMahon.
Jonathan Gomez just angling the wall. Normally you have one player outside the wall, so Piccolo will be in line with the post. Parker Siegfried just lining it up. And Jonathan Gomez will be the player standing outside that line, forcing whoever's taken the ball to have to bend it right around the wall if he wants to get it in to that near post.
Jadama standing over it, as is Joaquin Rivas. It is Jadama, the strike from Jadama glances off the crossbar.
How close was that? What a good effort. If it had been inches lower, it probably would have gone in, although it did look like Parker Siegfried had made his way across the goal. Have a look. Goalkeeper, is he there? Oh, I don't know if he would have made it in time. How close were FC Tulsa there?
Come on, Gary, you got to give the benefit of the doubt there to your fellow goalkeeper that he might have had it or not.
He might have had it. I'm not saying he would have, but he might have.
Dario Suarez entering the match for Rodrigo da Costa. Got some fresh legs out there on the top line for Tulsa as they chase this 2-goal deficit. Substitution brought to you by MHS Global.
If ever Dario Suarez is going to get back in his manager's good books, to come on now as a sub and score a goal and get them back in the match, that will make Michael Ensian a very happy man for the time being.
Here leaves Gonzalez holding his left leg. Tonight's trivia brought to you by Tony's Break and Alignment. Gary, I'll lob this one up to you. After tonight's goals, 13 straight games that Louisville has scored a goal. What is the record for scoring in consecutive matches? I'll tell you, it was in 2016. I'll give you the year.
I was about to say it's a squad of 2016 because I read it up earlier. It's the 16 goals, isn't it?
Might be.
But it was that squad of 2016. Where are they up to now? 13 games?
13 after tonight.
Wow.
And that 13, a magic number right now for Louisville. We'll go ahead and reveal it for you. It is 16 games in 2016. They have 13 straight games with a goal. They have 13 different players with a goal this season.
That's very, very impressive, and you would think there's every chance they could beat that 16 mark because they do have so much attacking ability and they create so many opportunities, even from defense, from the likes of young Jonathan Gomez. Never mind midfielders and, of course, the front three.
Here is Gomez. Little nutmeg there, draws the foul. Every time he touches the ball, something special happens. And a yellow card for Sheldon.
There's not much Matty Sheldon can do. It's just so clever from Jonathan Gomez. He's just trying to say, he's saying to his teammates, I couldn't get to it. He was just too quick, and it's a nutmeg as well. That's the skill of this young man, 17 years of age.
Came up in the FC Dallas youth system. Played for the U.S. at U16 and 17, also Mexico at U17. You see again those two nations battling for his allegiance.
I bet there's many a Real Sociedad fan who's watching social media and seeing what this young man can do and saying, we can't wait for him to arrive in Spain.
There's a lot of Louisville fans saying, don't go,
Yeah,
don't go.
well, I think it's too late. He signed the contract.
It's a 5th third free kick. A 2-0 lead for Louisville. A chance to add to it. McCabe on the ground. Set play attempted there. Didn't work out in the end. Out for a corner.
It's another vilified corner kick.
Seventh corner of the match now for Louisville. McCabe at the ready. Delivers it. Center of the box. Falls all the way through somehow. Ownby was there at the doorstep. It was over the line in the end for a goal kick. Ownby was right there.
He was. You see a little argument there between Bourgeois and Sean Lewis, the goalkeeper and centre-back. They were blaming each other there for a moment.
Al Gregg was set twice to come on for Cameron Lancaster. He didn't come on those first 2 times. Lancaster powered through, and he ends the night with 2 goals.
Oh, fantastic. A little bit lucky with the deflection, but he had a fantastic shot saved by Sean Lewis that I thought was going to fly in the back of the net. This one again, quickest to pounce. In between that, he got kicked on the knee, got kicked on the ankle. We thought he was coming off twice, and he kept going. So he really has put in a shift, and I'm sure the fans really appreciate the effort that Cam Lancaster has made. And what is that now, 11 goals in 14 matches or something? What a star this man is for Lou City. No wonder he's getting all that back slapping.
Substitution brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond. Al Gregg in, Cameron Lancaster out.
And if you're Tulsa, you think, really? We see the back of Cam Lancaster, and you bring on somebody else who can score goals in Carl Gregg. Thank you.
Del Piccolo also leaves the match for Louisville. And it is Napa Masoso who enters.
Yeah, some fresh legs in midfield, and it's not surprising. Thought it might have even happened a little bit earlier because players have put in a really good shift. It's always... Managers always want to bring in players with fresh legs just to give you a little impetus of energy.
It opens up for Ownby. Great ball in. Gonzalez puts it across.
Just running from there, Gonzalez, why not have a shot? You're, what is it, 14 yards out? Clear view of goal. Yeah. I think he's debating himself. You know, it was a bad ball. Ownby again, isn't he so good with creativity? That would have been a difficult ball for Carl Gregg to get to, but if it had been on his head, who knows? Gonzalez, what a class player he is, but it all starts with Brian Ownby as per normal.
Fans head to Twitter to vote on tonight's Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training Man of the Match. Poll will be open for the next few minutes. Vote now at twitter.com/LouCityFC. I think it's a pretty evident one tonight, but you know what? We leave it up to the fans.
Something could still happen in the last few minutes. Carl Gregg gets a hat-trick. Or maybe FC Tulsa get a double with Jason Johnson, who knows? But right now it's all Cam Lancaster.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Meola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watson, Devin Kerr, every Tuesday at 7 Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Bourgeois.
Question now for FC Tulsa is 2 goals behind. You have to start attacking. You have to be creative. Can they get things going? They've lost possession a little bit too easily there. Just haven't done enough for me. With all the talent they have in attack, they just haven't done enough to create problems for Lou City.
Feast or famine at times for Tulsa. There's games where they'll score 3, 4 goals, and then they had that stretch of losses where they had 2 goals in 4 matches. Tonight struggling again. Jason Johnson on the ground.
It might just be a little bit of cramp. Having a good stretch there, and subs coming on again. With only 13 minutes left. Just wonder if those fresh legs could have come on a little bit earlier. Who knows? Managers know a lot more than we do about the state of fitness of the players. And oh, by the way, here's this first sighting for FC Tulsa fans of Fennec coming in from Las Vegas Lights.
Fenwick, Kembo Cabato. And lastly, Solomon Kwame, the 3 entering for Tulsa. That's Sheldon, Jorge Corrales, and Jason Johnson, the 3 to exit. One last opportunity, perhaps, for Michael Encian to try to impact this game with some fresh legs. Dozen minutes to go, down 2 goals. Substitutions are brought to you by MHS Global. Jadaba makes a mess of it. Kyle Gregg pressures. In the end, it's out for a throw. Gomez and Marlon battling. Gomez commits the foul. Marlon wants to play quickly. McCabe doesn't let him. Ball back for the foul as Bird is being pulled from behind.
Good defense here. Sorry, good defense here from Lou City. Very deep. Look at that. 8-9 players literally in their final third of the pitch. They're closing down all that space for Tulsa, FC Tulsa, making it very difficult for them to find players.
Dario Suarez gets it out wide. Kwame sends the ball in. Tosh dispatches it. Challenge put in by McCabe. Gregg taken down. Yellow card quickly out of the pocket for Lebo Moloto.
A good interception there from Lou City. Kyle Gregg coming back to win it as well. Good commitment in terms of their defense. And there's such a good player for me, Brian Ownby. So clever, put so many good crosses in first half that caused FC Tulsa all sorts of problems, and I just think sometimes underrated. Cam Lancaster will get all the headlines, but this man has been a huge part of the success tonight.
Antoine Hopino, Jimmy McLaughlin, the 2 entering. Jorge Gonzalez, Brian Ownby exiting. Substitutions brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond. Just under 10 minutes remaining, plus whatever stoppage time has in store. 2 goals, courtesy of Cam Lancaster. 1 in the 10th minute, 1 in the 66th minute. Gives him 11 on the season, 2nd best in the league. Well done by Marlone to win it initially.
Good refereeing again. Got to make that point. Malik Badawi. He's been quick to look after the players when they've been injured. Quick to get on top of any late tackles and nastiness. And I think he's handled this match really well. We don't often give the referees enough credit for the job they do, but he's had him and his assistant referees have had a really good match tonight, I think.
Hope the fans are soaking it in right now at Lynn Family Stadium. We won't be seeing much of Louisville in town coming up. Kyle Gregg out to McLaughlin. Gomez there as well, getting in each other's way. McLaughlin comes away with it, puts the ball in towards that backside of the 6-yard box, harmlessly across. After this, though, for Louisville, things get really tough. On the road against OKC, on the road against Birmingham, for another home game against Tulsa. And then from September 7th through September 29th, they are on the road. Hartford, OKC, Indy 11, Memphis, Atlanta. 5 consecutive road matches and 7 of the next 8 overall on the road. They built themselves quite the cushion to deal with those road games. Harkening back to our chat with Danny Cruz, as we mentioned earlier, he has the utmost belief in this squad that it doesn't matter if they're playing at home, on the road, or neutral site. They are the team to beat, and they can win wherever the venue is they're playing at.
It's great to have that belief, and maybe he'll be proven correct, but if he's not, I think you're right. They have that cushion. Even if they have a rough time on the road, they battle to get results. They have enough of a cushion to be pretty assured of being in the playoffs. But of course, they want to finish as high as possible. Jonathan Gomez getting a yellow card for time wasting.
Vivify yellow card given to Jonathan Gomez. 90th minute, Charlotte on top of Pittsburgh right now. It's another big game in the Eastern Conference, to the point of the scoreboard watching for Louisville at the other top teams in the East. Pittsburgh, one of those teams. They dropped one last week against Miami. They were up 2-0 in the 50th minute, lost it 3-2. Now in danger of losing again to Charlotte. Part of the bigger picture. El Paso Locomotive 37 points, Phoenix Rising 36. And if this result holds, Louisville at 39, as it would stand before Phoenix plays later tonight and before El Paso's next match, Louisville would be top of the league. That is their target.
Yeah, but given that 7 of the next 8 are away from home, I think one will have to wait to make a really fair comparison until I think Lou City have played some of those matches. Because there's no question with this lovely pitch they've got and stadium, and it's a formidable setup, but away from home, as what happened at FC Tulsa, it's a lot more difficult. Just winding down the clock now, Lou City, just controlling the ball, trying to play in the opponent's half. Just, you know, for me, FC Tulsa haven't been able to do enough, Joe, to cause problems. If they want to be a top side, and I know they're playing against the top side in Lou City away from home, they have to be able to cause more of an issue. I just go back to that one big chance early in the second half to Costa through one-on-one, hits the ball into Siegfried. If he could have chipped the goalkeeper, got back to 1-1, things could have been so different for Michael Ensian then. But other than that, his team really haven't shown me enough tonight to make me think this is a top side, and it could be just a battle to get into the playoffs. And given how good they are going forward, that's going to be a disappointment for their fans. But things could still turn around.
It's been all or nothing all season long for Michael Ensian's squad. They just have one draw on the season, and the wins and the losses, they've beaten some top teams, they've lost to some teams that are considered bottom of the division. They started the season with a couple of wins, then they have that stretch of games against Atlanta and Sporting Kansas City back-to-back where they lose by a combined 9-1. Peaks and valleys, and they've just been riding the wave. They got out of a valley recently after the win last week against Birmingham, snapped a 4-game losing skid. But barring quite the comeback here, back onto a losing streak of 1.
Then Birmingham away next match. That's going to be a tough one for them. So, but FC Tulsa fans, you have a wonderful attack. Keep the faith. might still make the playoffs, and who knows from there.
Back to the point of Louisville in terms of the top of the league. Danny Cruz was very specific with us in our chat this week. 2.15 points per game. That is the average of teams that have won the league and finished with the most points. They hold on here and get 3 points to go to 39 in 18 games. 2.16 is how many they'd have. So they are right on that pace. Danny Cruz will crunch the numbers and he'll be happy with what he sees.
This is good Lou City play, just tying Tulsa into their own half. Now getting some turnover ball as well. No rush to take it, although Jonathan Gomez won't want a second yellow. They just keep the ball, keep possession. Cheap giveaway there, but they're winding the clock down, and doesn't seem to be much that FC Tulsa can do about it at the moment.
Tulsa will then have to watch tonight, see what Memphis 901 does. Such a tight bunch in the middle of the standings. Right now, Tulsa 22, Indy 11, 22, OKC 22. If Memphis comes up with a win later on this evening, it would go to 23. Louisville not concerned with the middle of the Central, though, right now. They're concerned with greatness. The top of the league, which is where they would sit at the end of this game.
Just seen Parker Siegfried kick that one long, go back to that one save he made, the one big save from DaCosta just after halftime. Turning point in the game. We asked the question whether it would be, and looking back now, I think it was. Tulsa had got level at 1-1. If DaCosta had managed to chip the keeper, I think we'd have had a totally different game. Instead, Lou City got the second, and they've pretty much wrapped it up so far.
Marlone trying to make it interesting late. Marlone wins a corner.
Parker Siegfried there just winding up all these defenders, saying, come on, let's just keep this clean sheet. He's so close, is the goalkeeper, the 24-year-old, to his first clean sheet for Lou City. 4 matches, no clean sheets, the 5th one. He is only minutes away from keeping that very important clean sheet.
Corner whipped in. Second ball is knotted down by Kwame. Stoppage time is presented by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport, and the referees have added 6 minutes here. That is what separates Siegfried from that first clean sheet you mentioned, Gary.
It's probably a bit to do with Cam Lancaster. He was down for a while. Bourgeois was down with that head injury, or not injury, but head collision when the ball hit him. Oh, linesman's gone down. Is that a yellow card?
He gets right back up and does his job.
Well done to the linesman there for getting up quickly and not making issue of it. Have a look here. Marlon gets thrown in there, and is it Sharpie who takes down the assistant ref or linesman, whichever word you want to use?
Full marks, though, to the assistant referee. While he was on the ground, he made sure to keep the flag in that upright position to signal what he had to signal.
Did brilliant.
The flag never fell down.
By the way, Wes Sharpie has had such a match this evening. He has headed so many balls that have come in, headed them successfully as he gets subbed out in the dying moments. Josh Winder, was he 16 years of age?
Another one 17. Of the youngsters.
Wow.
Substitution brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond. Maloto curls it in, header, there goes the clean sheet. It's Bradley Bourgeois, the captain. Buckle up, 4 minutes to go, we've got a game.
Well, they did it in the last match, didn't they, Tulsa? 2 late goals got them a victory, and Bourgeois saying, we've got to keep going. Left it extremely late. Parker Siegfried was trying to get his defense organized for that clean sheet, but allowed a free header there almost. Jonathan Gomez, perhaps it is. It doesn't stay tight enough. And a decent header from Bourgeois gives the keeper no chance. They're back in the game. 4 minutes left. Hang in there, Lou City fans.
First of the season for Bradley Bourgeois. Laughlin just misses it. Fights to win it back. Bourgeois again gets forward. Bourgeois deflected out, corner kick. Just like that. It's Louisville now, just waiting for that final whistle, hoping it gets here quicker.
Credit FC Tulsa for fighting to the end. They haven't given up hope, but could they have done a bit more of this earlier in the game will be the question I'm sure their fans are asking.
These teams played a pair of 3-2 finishes, one aside the first two meetings. I don't think you could have expected this would finish as easily as 2-0. Something was going to change in the end.
It's a shoving and holding going on in the box.
Malotto curls the corner in, head to it. Shouts for handball after the volley from Rivas, and it's out for another corner.
Good pressure from FC Tulsa. I'd love to see more of this. They're so good going forward, and we have just seen only glimpses of what they're capable of in attack.
Malotto's second try at the corner. Through to the backside, Kwambe. Out for a goal kick.
I think it was Eric Bird with that little near post flick on, and unfortunately didn't find another black and gold shirt. Given themselves much time, have they, with that stoppage time goal? If they'd have got that a few minutes earlier, they would have had more time, but Parker Siegfried is going to try and wind this clock down as much as he can.
7 of the 21 goals conceded now this season from Louisville in the last quarter hour. That's something Danny Cruz will want to clean up.
I think maybe it's a reminder to Lou City that this is a tough league, and they're going to have to keep on improving if they want to win silverware at the end of the season.
Bird picks up the yellow card.
He's saying, come on, get up. There's still got minutes left to play. But again, good commitment. You don't want to be giving away fouls, obviously, but at least Eric Bird's trying to get things going, trying to move this game along.
Booted all the way down. Well placed, though, out for a throw. Chance to lock Tulsa in. Gomez pressures. Off of Gomez. So powered off the ball by Malotto. And Tulsa find one more opportunity up the field. Kwambe inside. Tosh wins it. Final whistle at Lynn Family Stadium. Closer than it seemed like it might be in the end, but Louisville gets the 2-1 victory over Tulsa.
I think it was a well-deserved victory by Lou City. They looked the better team throughout most of the match. Cam Lancaster absolutely brilliant in taking of the 2 goals. But give FC Tulsa credit at the end. They fought back. They left it a little bit late. Imagine if they'd have scored that goal with 15 minutes left, then there would have been a real battle at the end.
Tonight's Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training man of the match, no surprise, is Cam Lancaster. It's his 2 goals that cue the light show at Lynn Family Stadium.
Yeah, and he's been scoring regularly, and they are such a good side, Lou City, but they will be reminded that there are other very decent sides out there, and that FC Tulsa, once a game for the 3rd game running, is only 1 goal difference between these 2 sides. A really good battle, Just felt we didn't see enough from FC Tulsa. They're a better side than what we saw tonight, and hopefully we'll see that in the next game against Birmingham Legion.
Siegfried was moments away from his first clean sheet, but he still made a couple of big stops. Here's a look at the good hand save of the game presented by Allstate.
Well, this was the opportunity to cost us through. He shoots, he hits the goalkeeper. That's an absolutely vital save. They were only 1-0 up at the time, and Siegfried puts out that left leg, and that's what blocks the ball. Have a look, left leg out, hits that leg. Maybe if the Costa had chipped him, it would have gone in. The keeper made a vital save and contributed to the victory tonight.
That kept it 1-0 at that moment. Lancaster would double it momentarily after that. 2-1 win in the end for Louisville City FC over FC Tulsa. We're back in a moment from Lynn Family Stadium to wrap this one up.
Enjoying the sunshine and fresh air can be hard for many of us. Advanced ENT and Allergy is the regional leader in upper airway care. From allergies, sinus problems, sleep apnea, hearing health, and more, our medical team treats everyone like family. Advanced ENT and Allergy offers same-day appointments, and for many, no referral is needed. Our outstanding team of physicians, along with state-of-the-art technology, can get you breathing right, sleeping well, and feeling better sooner. Go to advancedentandallergy.com for your appointment. 8 locations.
At Kroger, we take scrutinizing freshness to a whole new level, where only the best of the best of the best will do. But just because you can't get any higher than perfect 10 produce, that doesn't mean that we won't try. Because Kroger produce isn't just fresh, it's fresher than fresh. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The players greet the fans at Lynn Family Stadium after Louisville's 2-1 win over FC Tulsa. Soccer Holdings Diversity, Inclusion, and Opportunity Committee will, throughout the 2021 season, name a minority-owned business of the month to assist with sustained change and support in our community. This month, we would like to congratulate 5 Star Barbershop, delivering the simple beauty of a regular barbershop located in Louisville's Jeffertown neighborhood. Walk-ins are welcome. Learn more at 5starbarbershop.com. Plenty of highlights in this one. Let's first take a look at the move of the game, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
This is Sean Tosh. That's the move of the game. He's defending. If that ball goes through there from DaCosta, they're in all sorts of trouble. And that's been picked out as the move of the game. Sean Tosh getting his foot to that and just stopping a crucial attack from FC Tulsa.
Tonight's full-time highlights brought to you by Dano's Seasoning. It started the 10th minute with Cam Lancaster.
It did. It's an attempted header coming in here, and it's from Corrales, totally missed, and Cam Lancaster jumps on this ball. Yes, he gets a little bit of a lucky deflection off the same defender, but in the end of the day, a mistake from Tulsa in defense. Cam Lancaster absolutely pounces on it, and he pounces again. This time, goalkeeper struggling to deal with it. Sean Lewis gets knocked back in, drops to the fox in the box, you might want to call him. Cam Lancaster, after a knee injury, a toe injury, and a whole bunch of other things, he still is on the pitch to knock the second one in. And at that point, a 2-0 lead for the home side. Looked like it was too much for FC Tulsa to come back against. And they did eventually. 92nd minute, a header from a free kick from Bourgeois. Gets above his marker, heads it past Siegfried. Good header, close to the top corner. And they're back in the match. Lots of power behind that header, but they left it a bit late, Joe. Only a couple of minutes left. In the end, Lou City run out 2-1 winners.
Ho hum, only 3 goals this time after 5
yes.
each of the last 2 times. But we were given a show, 27 shots in all, and 2 goals for Louisville, 1 for Tulsa.
Yeah, it says 5 shots on target to 4, but I don't think it really tells the story. For me, Lou City by far the better attacking force. A load more crosses in the box, load more shots. and could have won it by more goals. But this man here, he's still hobbling after all the tackles. Cam Lancaster, 2 goals to the good.
Gomez taking some pictures with the fans to celebrate the fact that Louisville is top the table in the Central Division. And at this very moment, top of the table around the league with 39 points. A big victory tonight, 2-1 over FC Tulsa. The only team that has beaten Louisville since the beginning of June is FC Tulsa, but not the case tonight. The boys in purple get it done with a 2-1 victory. For my broadcast partner Gary Bailey and the rest of our incredible crew that makes this broadcast possible, I'm Joe Malfa saying good night from Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.